ever hungry, thirsty, and alone. The devil tempted him to make bread out of stone. The devil took Jesus to the top of the temple, told him to jump, and the angels will catch you. The devil told Jesus, bow down, worship me, and the power of the world will be given to thee. But the Son of God lives by the word alone. Stuck in the desert, but he still got his throne. But he still got his throne. If I live to be 1,000.
Lord, I wanna dwell in the secret place where your glory swells like an ocean wave, safe within your arms. Hold me close, oh Lord, never let me go. I won't be afraid in the darkest night, held in your embrace, shielded by your light. Arrows that take aim are defeated at the mention of your name. Lord, I wanna be, Lord, I wanna be, Lord, I wanna be secret place. Lord, I wanna be, Lord, I wanna be, Lord, I wanna be secret place. Lord, I wanna be, Lord, I wanna be, Lord, I wanna be secret place. Lord, I wanna be, Lord, I wanna be secret place.
Hello and God bless, and welcome to the Virtual Church TV Show podcast. God bless you. So wonderful to have you here again. And I'm praying that today will be a time of personal development, a time of transformation, and a time that we share ideas that can change our lives. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, Neville Solomon, and I'm excited about today's topic. Today's topic is we're going to be talking about signs that someone is going to betray you. Specifically, 12 signs someone is going to betray you. And the secondary topic is, have you ever been betrayed? If you're on the line and you've never been betrayed before, we'd love to hear from you and see if you have some secrets of how to be able to decipher if someone's going to be betraying you. Because if you've never been betrayed before, you must be really, really good at character assessment and just basically knowing, how to understand those that are around you and getting close to people that are good and getting away from those who are not so friendly. And even for those of us who are on the line who have been betrayed, what are some of the lessons that you've learned? You can get into some detail if you like. I can put up our invitation so you could come on live and have a little bit of a conversation. You can talk at the level that you feel comfortable with, or you can just write in the comment section and let us know some of the lessons that you learned from betrayal. If you've never been betrayed, we'd love to hear from you. If you've been betrayed, let us know some of the lessons that you've learned through betrayal. And I'm going to be putting up our link so that if you wanted to be a part of our meeting today, that'd be great. That'd be great. If you wanted to come on live and have a discussion and let us know some of your thoughts, that'd be great. So once again, like I was saying earlier, I am your host, Neville Solomon, and we're going to be getting into this subject matter because our time is slowly ticking and talking. So we'd love to get into this discussion. But if you want to get on our live stream and be a part of this podcast, would love to hear from you and would love to connect with you. But today we're talking about 12 signs someone is going to betray you. And the secondary question is, have you ever been betrayed before? If you don't feel comfortable talking about your own particular situation, that's fine. But if you've seen examples in life of betrayal, we'd love to hear from you. Because today is a brainstorming session of how we can break free if you've been betrayed and hurt and, are struggling, how we can overcome that. And if we're lucky enough to be in a state where we're surrounded by good people, how can we ensure that we don't move into a state of being betrayed? So today we're going to be talking about this topic, and I wanted to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. For those of you who are in the live stream, it's great having you. And for those of you who are watching this in the replay, it's wonderful, wonderful hearing from you in the replay in the comment section as well. Would love to hear your thoughts on this subject matter. So have you ever been betrayed? I've been betrayed. Going to share a few stories, and I think most of us, to some extent, have experienced it. But what balances it is when you have some good relationships and people that you are able to trust and you're able to confide in. That always makes it life a little bit easier. So before we move forward, just wanted to say welcome to those of you who are in the live stream. We have Georgina, who is in the live stream, just saying blessings, Pastor, and blessing to you as well, Georgina. Wonderful having you. And today we have Shaila in Korea, who is here as well. And she says, I like this topic. It's a very important topic because we live our life so many times just kind of living day to day, but we never actually think about the fact that there are some bad apples in this world. There are some people who, for some reason, I don't really understand it myself, want to get close to you. And then when they get a chance, they'll betray you. And they come in so many shapes, so many sizes. Sometimes it's a peer, someone that you hang out with, that you trust, and they turn on you. Sometimes it is a fellow student or a fellow coworker, and they turn on you. Sometimes it's a neighbor, and you think that they're supporting you, and they're collecting information because they want to use it against you. Sometimes it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you may even have, a lot of emotions and feelings toward them. And later on, they betray you, and you see them for their true colors. But this is a subject matter that I think is important for us to talk about, because so many times, especially when you are in love, you cannot see things clearly. Or when you have a really good friendship, you can't see things clearly. Or just when you're lonely, you're hanging out with people and they're a little bit, how do I say, rude or a little bit difficult to get along with. You sometimes don't want to see them for what they are. You just make excuses for them. This is their personality. This is the way that they act. And we don't really prepare ourselves to be betrayal proof. But today we're going to be talking about that. And I would love to hear your thoughts. And I would love to hear your ideas. But as you are getting ready to share your thoughts and ideas, I would want you to join Shaila in terms of just putting your thumbs up. Would love to get a thumbs up from you for this particular broadcast, and would love to hear from you as well. So if you want to share a comment, share your thoughts, feel free to do so. If you want to come on our live stream and actually talk with each other, that'd be great as well. Or just feel free to type in the live stream, or if you're watching this in replay, to type in the replay area. But once again, I'm your host. I'm Neville Solomon, and this is the Virtual Church TV podcast. So wonderful having you. So we're going to get into this particular conversation. And as we're getting into this conversation, I just want to kind of just talk about betrayal as a whole. Betrayal is something that many people face. And it can be just a natural part of life, or it can be something that can have a deep, deep impact on you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about post-betrayal syndrome. Post-betrayal syndrome is a way that you feel the effect that betrayal has on you after you have been enlightened to recognize that the person that you put your trust in, they are now exposed for who they are. And sometimes in the exposure, when they really are caught in the act of turning on you, they are very nasty. They are in a place where they're not sorry at all. And sometimes they even make you feel bad because you feel like, how did I not see this beforehand? There are other instances, especially when you're dealing with romantic relationships, or you're dealing with somebody that you really, really like. When they betray you, it adds a secondary piece of hurt, because not only have you been betrayed, but you also have lost something that you held to be very significant. So not only did they hurt you in terms of turning on you, but they hurt you in terms of this is an investment that you made with your heart, and now it's all for naught. But I just wanted to share a definition of betrayal with you today. Betrayal is the sense of being harmed by the intentional actions or omissions of a trusted person. The most common forms of betrayal are harmful disclosures of confidential information, disloyalty, infidelity, dishonesty. They can be traumatic and cause considerable distress. The effects of betrayal include shock, loss, grief, premorbid preoccupation, damaged self esteem, self doubting, anger, depression, confusion, and sometimes a loss of direction. So many of us, we respond differently to betrayal. Some of us, we respond with just a sense of a deep loss. Others oftentimes become angry and become protective of themselves and sometimes of others, but you become protective where you don't really want to let new people in. You don't give people the benefit of the doubt. And betrayal is something that is very, very, very difficult for us to deal with. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit more about this subject matter. And I wanted to give you a chance to be able to just be a part of the discussion, because I think it's very important that we are able to talk about this subject and expand on this subject this evening. So Georgina Flemings, she says, normally they behave out of character. And that's true. Like a person, when they're getting ready to betray you, you see some character shifts. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as the evening goes on. And they exist at their convenience. In terms of like hanging out with you, I guess, and wanting to be around you, they're not really doing it for your benefit, but they're doing it for their own benefit. And I think that we're going to be talking about things like that this evening as well. The question I really want to talk about, not so much about the signs. I want to talk about beginning, like, have you ever been betrayed, or do you know people who have had experiences of betrayal, and what are some examples of the experiences of betrayal? Because I think before we look at signs, we have to look at the effect of it, because if you look at signs and you don't look at the effect, what's going to happen is you're going to see the signs and they're not going to become an alarm because we haven't thought about what the effect is. But I think that there is a horrific effect on the whole concept of betrayal, because sometimes when we are betrayed, it's so painful that we want to block out that thought from our mind. We want to block out the thought of what happened. We want to block out the thought of what we went through. And the reason why we want to do that is because it's so painful. But the danger in blocking out the experience of betrayal is that you don't actually learn from it. So we're talking primarily about the signs of betrayal, but I think something that's also helpful about the signs of betrayal is when you have been betrayed, what does it feel like? I went through some of the symptoms, but ultimately when you've been betrayed, it's like a two-edged sword, because on one hand, you feel bad that someone that you trusted had harmed you. But on the other hand, you feel so bad that you were not able to discern that the person who harmed you wasn't trustworthy. And that's a tough thing, because sometimes you're as upset with yourself as you are with the betrayer, because the betrayer did something to you that was wrong, but you're upset with yourself because you could not even see that that was in the works. Now, when you talk about, I guess, a relationship, like a partnership, whether it's a boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife, when somebody actually turns on you, and when they turn on you and you were not expecting it, it can do irreparable damage. It can really, really harm you. It can really hurt you. As a matter of fact, I find it interesting that all of us have received betrayal, and we're probably going to get very little comments about the betrayal that we received. It's because most of us don't want to recall the harms that have happened to us. We don't even want to recall sometimes the harms that have happened to other people. But one of the powers of remembering the experience of betrayal is that it prepares you to pick up the signs of betrayal. Because when you understand what's at stake, the alarms that you put in place have meaning. For example, if I have a house and I have no valuables in my house, I'm probably not going to set up alarms. And when a criminal breaks into my house, I'm not going to like it, but I'm probably not going to be as heightened to protect my things if, number one, I don't have anything, or number two, I don't think anyone's going to break in. But if I have a house and I have valuables and someone breaks in and takes my valuables, guaranteed I'm going to probably get an alarm system. I'm going to probably prepare myself for the next time to ensure that nothing is taken from me, because I've come to the conclusion that betrayal is something that is very, very evil, and it can have a long lasting effect on a person, because because it's such a deep wound that happens even in what I would classify as simple betrayal. Because I think that you have different levels of betrayal. You have the more complicated and the very deeply hurtful betrayal within a romantic relationship or an intimate relationship. And then you have, the betrayal that you're at work. You don't even really talk to your coworker, but you share an idea with them and they run to the boss and give the boss your idea and say it was theirs. It's not at the same level as maybe someone cheating on you or maybe someone lying to you. It's not on the same level, but it is still deeply painful, and it will affect your employment moving forward because you realize I'm surrounded by people who are not trustworthy. Um, I just wanted to share a comment that Shaila had shared. She said, I remember one guy lied to me that he was single. He would come to see me with his brothers, and he almost made me believe that he was the one. One day I just dialed his phone because I wanted to see how he saved my number. Only saw that he saved my number as a university name. That's when I just let the relationship die. Um, and that, and to me, those are the things of betrayal that will affect you, because in the future, if someone comes and they're trustworthy, your guard will still be up and you'll be concerned. So there's a negative side to experiencing betrayal, because the negative side is that it causes you to have more challenges with relationship in the future. But then there's also a positive side with betrayal, because so long as you can remember the experience that you went through, the next time when a similar experience comes, you'll get to the place where you will prepare your heart to be able to really look for signs. Because to me, like, that's a huge sign that someone would not even take into consideration your name. Even worse, they're putting down your university. At least if they put down, girl I like. That's not the best way to kind of write it, but that's much better than the university, because how many university numbers do you have in your phone? Like, that's really, really weird. But thank you so much for sharing that example. Oh, and I missed a huge part here. Is I later saw his wedding picture on Facebook. He was a married man with a 6-year-old son. That's horrible. That's horrible. That is betrayal, and that's betrayal on so many levels, because it's not only betrayal toward you, it's betrayal toward him and his spouse, and it kind of shows you that this is probably an ongoing issue with this particular individual. It's a betrayal with him and his children, because he's not demonstrating the heart of a father and the heart of a person who's honest. Because really, if you're in a relationship and it's not working, then you need to move on from that relationship and end that relationship, or try to work on it. But to work on university campuses, trying to find people while you still have a wife at home and a child at home, and your Facebook is promoting that, it's insane. It's insane. It's insane. Um, I think in all of our lives, we're able to find experiences of betrayal. The danger in not reviewing them is that they're probably going to happen again. So if you don't learn from a betrayal experience, such as a relationship, to kind of realize that there are guys who are dogs, or there are girls who are users. If you don't take into consideration that, then you're going to experience the pain of betrayal. So a part of the reason why we're talking about the signs of betrayal today is because we want to hone in on the fact that betrayal is harmful. it can affect our physical health. It definitely affects our mental health. It can even affect our spiritual health, because depending upon the relationship, because it's like this. It's one thing to like a young lady and she has a husband and she's a cheater, or to like a young man and he has a wife and he's a cheater. That's one level. But now, if that same individual goes to church with you, or goes to a church similar to your church, and it's promoting how they're godly and how they love God and everything, and then you see this kind of behavior, if you're not careful, it can actually impact your your um your spiritual life. So when it comes to betrayal, can impact every area of your life. It can impact your emotions. It can impact your work life. It can impact your personal life. It can impact your physical health. So it's very important for us to be aware of betrayals that we've experienced in the past, and to be aware of the ability for it to happen in our future. Betrayals can be personal. A lot of times, the ones that hurt the most are the personal ones, but they can also be business as well. Like someone could talk to you on the phone, promise you a product, give you the product, and not fulfill their obligation. I had an experience that was it was a double betrayal, and it's funny because it wasn't really that personal. It wasn't really a big deal, but but for me, I was hurt deeply by it, even though it wasn't a big deal. So much more when you're dealing with things that are, you know, very, very intimate, very, very personal, where you don't really want a lot of people to know about it. That hurts even deeper. But I'm going to give you the example of what happened to me. I Because I do YouTube, and we all do YouTube, those of us who do YouTube, and for those of you who don't do YouTube, I'm just going to kind of explain the situation, is that there's a learning curve. You have to do things to learn how to do this better, to learn how to use things like how I'm using StreamYard today to stream this particular production. I have to know how to do that, so I have to learn it. So sometimes, in order to learn quicker or to learn faster, you seek out others to help you. And you do that in so many different areas. So I do thumbnails for each of my videos. And my thumbnails, I really like them. I really enjoy them. Others may like them, may not like them, but I like them. And I think it's a great product. So what happened is, I got my thumbnail assistants for a particular group of people. Great guys, did great work. And I'm very happy for that. And they helped me in all other different aspects of YouTube with my SEO. They helped me in terms of designing things, and they're very, very helpful guys. And they did great things for me, you know. So what happened is, they had like they have different products that they promote, and a lot of the products that they promote, I buy them because they're good products, and they help me to excel as it relates to doing my YouTube and doing other video projects and so forth. So what happened was, one day they were advertising an amazing product. And I noticed that the product wasn't from them, it was from another company. So what happened was, because I trust them, because they've done such good work in other areas, I didn't really read this other company's fine print very well, and I bought their product. And when I bought their product was horrible. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. It's like they wrapped up a piece of garbage, put it in software, and then gave it to me. And when I had it, it had absolutely no use. So then when I wrote them back to kind of get explanation, to get a better understanding of what's going on, they never got back to me. And eventually there's like I guess there's like a 30-day window for you to get your money back, asking them for my money back and things like that. They're not getting it back to me. 30 days passes, they email me and tell me that the 30 days have passed, I'm not getting my money back. So basically, it was just a horrible thing and it wasn't much money, to be honest, but I was so angered by this horrible software that the group that treated me well, I also felt betrayed by them as well, because they should check out what they're promoting, and they probably did, but yet they still promoted it to me. So now in future endeavors, even when they create something, and I like them, even when they create something, I don't really trust it, because if you can do this to betray your customer who has trusted you, then I'm going to be very, very reluctant to trust you in the future. So I go through this to say that in fairness, the company that has helped me, they've done a great job. I still am satisfied with things that they've done, but the person that they referred to me was horrible. And it makes me at least not want to listen to anything that they refer to me outside of their own products. And even their own products, I check all the, matter of fact, I haven't bought anything from them, but I would check all the fine print, and I'd probably ask a lot of people, and I probably may not buy it. I might end up buying their competitor just because of betrayal. And the reason why I told this story is because this really has no intimate feeling. This really it's not really a big deal. It wasn't a big investment. It was barely any money at all. But so much of my energy, so much of my thought process, so much of my emotions was wrapped up in something that didn't really matter. Now imagine the person betraying you is your spouse, or the person betraying you is your father, or the person betraying you is your mother, or the person betraying you is your aunt or your sibling, or your best friend that you've known all your life, or the person betraying you is maybe someone that you like, and they've let it be known that they don't like you, but they use you and they betray you in the ending, and they're talking behind your back and things like that. All these examples are examples of how deeply betrayal can hurt. So I just wanted to talk about that because I think it's very important for us to be alert and to recognize that betrayal is something that is very, very dangerous. And when we can recognize this now when we look at the signs of betrayal, we will keep them in our memory and it will go off like a fire alarm. When we see it, we recognize, I don't want to experience the pain that I had before. I don't want to experience people laughing at me like they laughed at me before. I don't want to experience investing so much years and time in a person and then they turn on me. I don't want to think that someone's my friend and then they are talking behind me and behind my back, and then I have to go through that pain again. So one of the best ways of doing that is to have an alarm. If you live in a house or apartment or in a trailer, wherever you live, if it burnt down, the wisdom would be the next time for you to get a fire alarm and to take heed whenever the fire alarm goes off, even if it's a false alarm, to at least check and to look because a fire has burnt down your place. So I want to use not just one alarm, but I want to use 12 alarms as it relates to figuring out if someone is going to betray you. So we're going to go through that right now. Just wanted to kind of go through some of the thoughts and the questions that are here. I didn't really read a lot of the comments made because they're very similar to what I'm going to be presenting today. So I didn't really want to talk about my presentation before the presentation begins. Okay. I like this comment because this comment is pretty much coming up to the point of my presentation. Yes, now I am more alert and I see signs so easily. You see signs easily when your eyes are opened up to the fact that this person, and not just this person, people betray people. In fact, I probably learned more about betrayal, not from my personal experience, but by just looking at the lives of other people, hearing stories from other people, and seeing experiences that other people have been through. I learned a lot through that. And I also learned a lot through personal experience as well, because there are a lot of people who have low character. And the thing about this, before I actually get into some of the signs, is that it ranges from all areas, because it's not just in intimate relationships where someone will betray you. It's not just in friendships where someone will betray you, but people will betray you in your family. And it doesn't even have to be close family members. It could be a distant cousin or someone who claims to be a distant cousin from another country can betray you. It can be a business partner that can betray you. It could be somebody who has access to your information, who can maybe go on the internet and seek out your information and steal it and begin to use some of your things. For example, I post a lot of information and I do some things, and I've caught people who are on YouTube, and I'm not gonna make a big deal about it because if you want to use things that I do, I'm fine with it. But I've caught people who have stolen my music, who have stolen my teaching, and even worse so, people who have tried to steal my identity. And all these things are evil, and they're betrayals. I've learned not to be so offended by people that I don't know, because when a person lacks character, they'll do anything. and you're going to go crazy if you worry about everybody in the world. But when it is someone who's closer to you, even the Bible talks about it. The Bible says that, you know, when it's someone who is close to you and they turn on you, the pain is very, very deep. And no matter who you are, no matter how strong you are, no matter how wise you are, when someone who's close to you betrays you, it's really, really hard to deal with. I'm just reading some of the comments. Okay, and this has so many elements to it. Says worse when they make you as a mockery and put you down, and and this has like different aspects to it, because what some people do, and we're going to talk about this particular comment later in the presentation, but I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because this is something that betrayal causes you to feel sometimes, because the mockery at times can be very overt, especially when someone's betraying you and doing things behind your back. When it gets exposed, sometimes they just let outright laugh and they mock and they make you feel horrible. Others are much more subtle in how they do it, because they may not physically laugh, they may not even criticize you, but they talk to you in such a condescending way, as if like I didn't betray you, you got what you deserved. And there's this mockery that sometimes is overt and laughing and all kinds of silliness, and other times it's a victimization, a double victimization, because the person who victimized you is pretending like they're the victim. A person who tried to put you down and tried to break your spirit, they're pretending as if you harmed them in some way. And the reason why they betrayed you was in self-defense, which is a mockery. And this is very, very hard to deal with, because when you know that you're innocent of something, especially when it's not so much a conversation amongst other people, so it's not like other people know that you're innocent, just you know that you're innocent, and someone is making a mockery of you, talking about how they're innocent when they are actually the offender. Very, very hard to deal with. Very hard to deal with. But today we're going to look at some of the signs, and I'm praying and hoping that these signs will be helpful for those of you who are watching this program, whether you're watching it live with us right now or you're watching it in the replay. I'm hoping that some of these signs will be helpful. And even for those of you who are on live streaming right now with us, feel free to hear some of the comments that we talk about in terms of the 12 signs, to share some of your thoughts on it. I know that some of the thoughts may have already been shared, but I don't want to really be going back and forth on topics. I kind of want to follow a particular order so that we don't get confused. So I just wanted to share some of the thoughts as it relates to the 12 signs of this 12 signs someone is going to betray you. So number one is a person creates distance. When you have a friend and they're trying to distance themselves from you, that is a sign that they are going to betray you. So the way that people create distance, they create distance, like, for example, maybe you would hang out with each other every day, and all of a sudden they're busy most days and only want to hang out once in a while. And then maybe you hang out on Fridays when you used to hang out 7 days a week. And on Fridays, they're looking at their watch, they seem impatient, and they seem to always have to go somewhere. When you phone them, they can't stay on the phone that long before they talk to you for an hour. Like, then they can only talk to you for a few minutes. You're on their social media and you recognize that they have blocked you or they have unfollowed you on social media. Other things that they do is that you recognize that they treat you differently. Like, before, they may invite you and all your other friends to a place, and now they're inviting the other friends and they're not inviting you, and they're getting ready to betray you. And the creating of distance, the reason why people create distance is because to betray somebody hurts if you have a heart. So what people do is that they try to eliminate you without talking to you. So creating distance, sometimes the purpose of it is to be able to push you far enough that they can walk away and not be around you anymore. Other times they create the distance because they're planning to harm you, and they know that when they harm you, it won't be as hurtful because they won't have the close ties with you. So a person who, say, lies on you and tries to get you in trouble, maybe with other friends, or tries to get you in trouble with your workplace, or whatever the situation may be. If a person is trying to get you in trouble, they want to create distance. So when you get in trouble, you don't have a means of being able to connect back with them. You don't have their number anymore. You're not connected to social media. They may have moved and they don't let you know where they're at, because by creating the distance, they have been successful in creating a situation or an environment where they can betray you, and in betraying you, you can't really reconnect with them. Number two is emotional mass. When a person is going to betray you, what they begin to do is that they don't just distance themselves from you physically, they begin to distance themselves from you in terms of the things they share with you. For example, you'll share secrets and they'll listen to your secrets, but when you begin to recognize that they never tell you any secrets about themselves, or they listen to your problems and they never tell you problems about themselves, or they will ask you very, very intimate questions like, how much money do you make? And because you're their friend, you might tell them. And then when you ask them how much money do they make, they say, I don't really share that information with people. They have a mask. And in the mask that they have that mask there because they don't want you to know what they're doing. They don't want you to know what they're up to. And sometimes, because we are human, sometimes if you talk to somebody long enough, even a person with a mask, they sometimes will tell you things that they didn't want to tell you just because you're around each other. So sometimes the mask will crack and you'll see the true person behind the mask, and that true person behind the mask will have a negativity towards you. So the emotional mask, it works most of the time, especially when you're not talking to each other. But when you spend a lot of time with each other, once in a while, a person is going to tell you something that's true. So for example, this is a good example, especially for ladies, is you'll be with a friend, you hang out with them, you do all these different things with them. They're asking questions about your love life and asking how things are going, all this kind of talking. And then one day, they're telling you that they're going to go to, say, an island vacation because they're getting married. And you didn't even know that they were in a relationship. A person who has a fiance and they're getting married, and you find out after everybody else, that person is wearing a mask. And they didn't want to share their intimate life with you because they either don't value you or they're seeking to betray you, which is very, very hurtful and very, very difficult. Number three is a person who is likely to betray you. A sign of a person who's likely to betray you is that they're emotionally unstable. They're emotionally unstable. That means that they get angry very easily, or they get sad very easily, or sometimes they get happy when they shouldn't be happy. Maybe somebody who's close to your family member or friend dies, and they are happy. And they're not happy about the person dying, but they're happy because things are going well in their life. But wait a minute, I'm going through grief, and you're full of this happiness during my time of grieving. The reason why they're full of happiness is because they are emotionally unstable. That's one part, but also they don't care about you. They only care about their own life and their own experience. It also works other ways as well, that you may be going through a very great time. Perhaps you're graduating, and your family's coming out to it, and you invite your friend to come to your graduation as well. And as you're doing all of that, you recognize that they're full of sadness. And when you're asking them why they're sad, they're caught up in their own little personal problems, and they don't want to celebrate you. They don't want to celebrate the joy that's in your life. So I think it's very important for us to be aware of this, because there are people who are emotionally unstable. Emotionally unstable people, along with their emotional issues, they also have issues as it relates to commitment. So they might promise you something, promise you that they're going to follow through on something for you. They might promise that they're going to, the next time I see you, I'm gonna pick up these items from the grocery store for you because I really want you to get a pair of these shoes or whatever. And when you show up the next week and you say, hey, did you get those shoes for me? They say, like, shoes? Like, what shoes are you talking about? and they never follow through with their commitment. If they say we're going to meet at 10, they come at 12 all the time. If you say that, let's go get a coffee, they say, okay, Tuesday. Tuesday comes, you're there, and they're not there. You call them and you're trying to get a hold of them, you can't get a hold of them because they don't follow through with their commitments. Those are just 3 things I wanted to share with you. And just want to take a quick break and to have a time of worship. But before I take that break, I wanted to check through some of the comments that we have here. We have Power of Prayer Ministries here. It's wonderful to have you, woman of God. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of our conversation today. We're talking about 12 signs that someone's going to betray you. And we're asking the question, have you ever been betrayed? So in your own personal testimony, have you ever had moments of betrayal? And what are some of the lessons that you've learned from those moments of betrayal? Because I think that many of us have went through some of those tough times, and it's very important for us to learn from them and to grow and to allow God to keep us from going through those experiences over and over again. I think this is a powerful statement by Georgina, is that a person who's looking to betray you, they always are throwing you under the bus. Instead of being your protector, because a true friend will protect you, what they do is that they become the person who is always attacking you. Sometimes they're attacking you in what they call a joke, but many times they're attacking you even overtly because you can't trust them and they're probably looking to betray you. So at this time, I just wanted to share this quick update with you. God has blessed me to write a beautiful book, and I just wanted to share this this update with you, and I pray that you'll be blessed. Check it out. 1 minute, and welcome to this presentation on my book, The 5 Benefits of Worship. If you'd like to purchase a copy, feel free to visit us at nevillesolomon.com, or you can get your copies directly from Amazon. Well, I pray that you will enjoy this presentation and check out my book on Amazon.
I would admonish every Christian wanting to draw closer to God through worship to read and practice the principles of this book. Whether you are a passionate worshiper, a new believer, a pastor, or someone simply seeking to grow in your personal relationship with God, this book is packed with a philosophy that can shoot your life to the next level. It will help you to have an encounter of the revelation and transformation received at the spiritual altar of focused worship.
5 Benefits of Worship is now available on Amazon. If you'd like to get your copy, please press the link below. If you'd like more information about 5 Benefits of Worship, please visit our website at nevillesolomon.com. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. So thankful for the book that God allowed me to write called The 5 Benefits of Worship. Depending where you're living, if you are in North America, then 100% it's available in paperback. Also, if you are in England or most of Europe, it's also available in paperback as well. But if you're in an area where it's not available on your Amazon in paperback, we also have it available on Kindle. And if you have a Kindle Unlimited account where you can get any books that you want on Kindle, you can actually get this book for free. But if you don't have that, you can also get it as an ebook on Amazon as well. Just wanted to encourage you to check out our book and also check out our website, nevillesolomon.com. We have some free resources there and some information about our ministry and some information about our YouTube station and how we can pray for you. We also have a contact sheet that we can pray for you, or we can answer any of your questions if you like, or you can just go to nevillesolomon.com right in our email area and let us know what thoughts are on your mind or what comments you want to share, or even more importantly, what you want us to pray about in your life. But we are on the Virtual Church TV Show podcast, and we're talking about the 12 signs someone is going to betray you. And we're also talking about, have you ever been betrayed, and what lessons have you learned from those experiences? So thankful for everyone who's here. And for those of you who are live, thankful to hear from you. It's wonderful to connect with you, as always. And for those of you who are in the replay, I just want to thank you for checking out this video. And I'm praying that it's been a blessing to you. And please, if you're in the replay, write in the comment section and let us know some of your thoughts on this particular subject matter as it relates to experiencing betrayal. So we're just talking about a number of signs that we should look out for if we are trying to prepare ourselves for someone who may betray us. So we're at number 4, I believe. The 4th sign that someone may betray you is inattentive listening. That means that every time you're talking to the person, they're not listening. They are waiting for you to stop so that they can speak, more so than that they want to listen to you. This can be found in that they can't recall anything that you say. They can't, they're not interested pretty much in anything that you say. And they oftentimes look away or stare off into the distance as you're speaking, because they're showing you in their body language that they're not really interested in what you're saying. In the book that I wrote, 5 Benefits of Worship, I have a section in the book where I'm talking about what I call weird Christians. And weird Christians are people who are unteachable. So unteachable people, they perceive that they know everything, and they don't want to learn anything from anybody else. So the reason why I call them weird Christians is because Christianity is a faith system that's based upon this concept called discipleship. And to be a disciple is to be a student. So a person who is not teachable, or a person who doesn't want to learn, for lack of a better word, they're not a Christian. But you have some people who think that they know everything, and they have no teachers, and they have no leaders, and they have no church, and they don't even have a community of believers. Because I'm not so much saying that, you know, we all have to do things the same way, but we do have to have outside influence in order for us to grow. So I knew this one young man, and he came to me and he was having an argument with me that he didn't believe in pastors. He doesn't believe in teachers, that the Holy Spirit teaches you everything. So when he says the Holy Spirit teaches him everything, I said, okay, so if the Holy Spirit teaches you everything, then that means the Holy Spirit teaches me everything. And he said, yes. So I said, if that's true, then you shouldn't teach me anything, because you just said I shouldn't learn from a man, so I shouldn't learn from you. And he said, no. You should learn from me because I'm an apostle sent by the nations. And what I recognize is that you have people who are confused, people who are full of pride, and people who are weird because they have philosophies that are inconsistent. How can you be a teacher when you have a philosophy that no one should teach you? And anyone who should be taught, anyone who should be a student, it should be a person who's a teacher. And the reason why I bring it up is that when you're dealing with inattentive people who are not listening, they are tools that the enemy can use to betray you at any time. Because the enemy seems to speak clearly to people who don't learn from anybody else. So when you're dealing with an inattentive listener, a person who's not listening, a person who's not interested in hearing what you have to say, you have to be careful with those kinds of people, because they can be used to betray you. In fairness, there are some personalities, because we all have different personalities. There are some personalities that are very outgoing and love to talk, and they may not be as patient to listen to you if you're not forceful and kind of talking. So I'm not so much talking about them, but even with people like that, they can at least tell you some things that you said. They can usually at least tell you somebody who has taught them something. So a good question to ask somebody to see if they're inattentive or if they listen is to ask them, you know, in your life, who has been a mentor for you or a teacher for you? If they say nobody, that's a dangerous person. That's a person who is ripe to betray you. So I just wanted to encourage you on that. Number 5, the 5th sign that a person may betray you is codependence. A codependent person, they support you in your destructive behaviors. If you have an addiction, they either will cover for you or they'll join you in that addiction. If you're an alcoholic and you're trying to get over alcohol, they'll go and buy you a beer. If you're a person who's trying to quit smoking, they'll go and buy you a cigarette. If you're a person who's trying not to take marijuana, they'll go to the marijuana store even when they don't smoke marijuana, and they'll give it to you. A person that's trying to lose weight, they'll go to McDonald's and get you a meal. You're a person that's trying to live for God, And they'll encourage you not to go to church and tell you every rumor that they can think about every pastor on YouTube that they can find, because they're trying to stop you from serving God. But codependence is very dangerous because it looks like they're helping you, but they're trying to keep you in the place of being destructive. And for most people, if you get to a place where you lose all your money and you lose your mind and you lose your way, most of these people that are codependent with you will leave you, because their job was to ensure that you did not become what you were made to become. So we have to watch out for codependence, watch out for people that support us in our pain. We should be looking for people that are encouraging us to move up spiritually, to move up psychologically, to move up physically, to move up in every area of our life, because people who love us want to see us succeed. So number 6 is power struggles. A person who's always struggling to have the power. You got to watch out for these kinds of personalities, because a person who has a power struggle, they always want you to agree with them, and they always want you to know that you're wrong. No matter what relationship you're in. You could be a professor with a PhD working with a guy who's never even graduated grade 6. But if you're friends long enough, there's going to come a day where the guy who never graduated grade 6 is going to have something that's right, and the professor is going to have something that's wrong. And the reason why that is because none of us are perfect and all of us are different. And the more different we are, is the more that we have expertise in areas the other person doesn't have. So in whatever relationship that you're in, there are things that you can learn from the other person. So when you're dealing with a person who is always struggling to have power, always struggling to show that they are right, always struggling to show that they are the person that is powerful, you got to be careful, because that's a person that's getting ready to betray you. They're getting ready to hurt your heart. They're getting ready to do something that's negative to you. There's a word that they use called gaslighting. So even when you're wrong, the person tries to condition you to feel that you're even when you're right, the person tries to condition you that you're wrong. They oftentimes will make fun of your accomplishments. You have a master's degree. God doesn't need head knowledge. God doesn't care about head knowledge. Oh, you're here? You did your hair? Oh, is that your real hair? And what they're really doing is that they're trying to take an element of you that is good, and they're trying to make that element of you something that's negative. They try to gaslight you. So it's very important for us to understand that when a person is trying to take power in our life by making fun of us, or take power in our life by controlling us, and they're trying to have a power struggle to show you that they're the one that are in command, that's a person that's going to betray you. And the reason why they're going to betray you is because most of us who are humble enough to be around people that are like that, we oftentimes have great intelligence, we have great character, and people appreciate us. So when a person who's trying to take power over you sees that people actually genuinely respect you, they will get rid of you. They will betray you, because the only way for them to ultimately hold power in your life is to hurt your heart. And in the betrayal, something in them will feel good. So it's very important for us to recognize this. So when we see someone always trying to be right, always trying to have the power, that before we allow them to pull us into an area of hurt and harm, we have to say to ourselves, God, is this a person that you want in my life? Because I might have to turn the light switch off and leave the room, because this person is fighting for power over me, and I was created to only have one person to have power over me, and that's you, God. And I will not replace you with them. Number 7 is the person is jealous of you. A sign that a person will betray you is that they're jealous of you. They give you backhanded compliments. Like they'll say, oh, you look so nice in that dress. I almost can't see your stomach. Or they'll say, you're so smart, even though you didn't graduate from high school. And they say kinds of things where they're claiming to compliment you, but at the end of it, it's an insult. And the reason why they're doing that is because ultimately they're jealous of you. And we have so many people that are around us that are jealous of us. And because we don't see ourselves as great many times, we just see ourselves as normal, it's very hard to detect when a person is jealous. And we think that what they're saying may have some truth to it, or what they're saying, they're joking about it. But at the end of the day, a person who is secure does not have to get a joke at your expense. In fact, if they're a real comedian, they'll make some fun of themselves. Have you ever seen somebody who loves to make fun of you, but they never make fun of themselves? And when you make fun of them, just to kind of rib it up because that's what they like to do, they're offended, they're angry. They get into that emotionalism that we talked about earlier and frustration with you, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to take power over you by making you the butt of their jokes. But at the end of the day, a jealous person, they will not change. They will not change most times because they're insecure, and their insecurity will lead to them betraying you. Number 8 is very similar to number 7. Number 8 is that they are envious of you. Very similar to jealousy, but the difference with a person being envious of you than jealous of you is a person will have a personal issue with you when they're jealous with you, but a person who's envious will want to take the things that you have. So when they see you with a boyfriend, they want your boyfriend for themselves. They see you in a car, they want not the same car, but they want your car for themselves. They see you wearing certain clothes, sometimes they'll go to the store and buy the same thing and try to wear it outside before you wear it so that they can get the adulation that they feel you'll receive from your friends and those that are around you, your peers. So you have envious people who want to take the things that belong to you without your permission. And sometimes the deepest betrayals, the deepest hurts is when you have something that's precious to you. It's usually in a romantic relationship. You might like somebody or have an interest of somebody or even have a relationship with somebody, and someone who claims to be your friend moves in and takes what belongs to you. And I'm not even talking about in theory. I'm saying sometimes people come literally into your house and take the person that you love from you. Sometimes people do it not just with spouses, but they do it with or girlfriends or boyfriends. They do it with your kids. They do it with things that are precious to you, and they try to take away your life because of the envy that they have. I'm so thankful for everybody who is here. I see some new people who have come into the conversation. It's wonderful having you. We're talking today about the 12 signs someone is going to betray you. And we're talking about, have you ever been betrayed? So it's wonderful having you here on this evening. So we have Yvonne here. It's wonderful having you. Yvonne Wolf, it's wonderful having you. And thank you so much for being a part of our discussion, and you're a blessing as well. Thank you so much for being here. And we have Yvonne Headley here as well. It's wonderful having you, and it's great seeing your smile. And we have a very, very powerful and potent conversation today. We're talking about the 12 signs someone is going to betray you. We're talking about that today, and we talked about a number of signs or a number of alarms we should look for so that we are aware that a person possibly is not the most trustworthy person. Because so many times we're hurt by people. And I think that one of the benefits of being hurt is for us to take an autopsy of our relationship and to see what went wrong. See, how did they betray us? Why did they betray us? And learn from how we felt in that situation, so that now when we look at this list of alarms, when they come up, we won't ignore them. We'll take them seriously and we will check it out. So here is a comment shared by Georgina. Rumors being spread by family or friend, they've broken trust. And a lot of times, like this whole concept of rumors can have many different roots. There are so many alarms that can go off when we're talking about rumors, because maybe somebody's spreading a rumor on you because they're jealous of you and they feel that you are better than they are. But one of the ways of putting you in your place is by saying things that you said to them in secret, or just making up stories about you, so that now in their power struggle, they have the power because you look bad and they look like the good tattletailer who's talking your business behind your back. This can have so many different roots, this whole rumor situation, because it could be that they're envious of you. It could be that they're trying to distance themselves from you, so they say things that are bad about you. It can be so many different alarms that are just going off. But I think the important thing is, when a person is talking bad about you, even if what they're saying is true, when a person is talking bad about you, it says a lot more about them than about you. And we need to get to the place not to feel guilty because we made mistakes, or to feel guilty because somebody's lying on us. We have to get to the place to recognize that this person has just set an alarm. They are a betrayer, And because they're a betrayer, I need to make some steps to heal myself from the betrayal, but also to identify them as criminals in the court of betrayal. So I just wanted to share that with you because I think that's very, very important. We're going to go into a few more of the signs, because as we look at these signs, we have a greater appreciation of the experiences that we go through and using those experiences to guard us from future betrayal. So we've covered quite a few so far. I believe that we're dealing with number 9. Number 9, as it relates to a person who will betray you, is they have a history of betrayal. They have a history of betrayal. For example, if you have a friend and they stole your other friend's boyfriend, or you have a friend and they harassed your other friend's girlfriend, you know that when you have your spouse or you have your partner or you have someone that you like around them, that there's a chance that they're going to try to steal them from you because that's the history that you've seen with that person. If you've seen somebody in the past spread rumors on somebody else, whether the rumors they spread were true or false, you can know that when you're talking to them, that nothing that you say to them is private, and they'll probably share those things against you as well. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in some more detail, because people talking about you and sharing things that you share with them in confidence is also an alarm as well. So I just want to look a bit more about the history of betrayal. When you see a person, who was close to somebody before, just turn on them, have no heart toward them, especially when you have mutual friends and you know that your mutual friend is a kind person, you have a good relationship with them, and now they're in enmity with that particular person, it kind of just shows you their character, that they have a history of betrayal and they probably will betray you. When you're sitting down with them, they're talking bad about everybody that they can talk about, and they're talking bad about some people that you know are really, really good people. Then you know that this person has a history of betrayal. They're setting up to betray you. So everything you say to them, everything you do with them, everything you talk about, everything they've ever told you, they will use all of it to attack you in the future if you get them upset or if they just become bored with the relationship. So a history of betrayal is a sign that you have to look at. And when you see people with those kinds of character, you want to stay away from them. Number 10, like I was just saying a little while ago, is that they spill your secrets. They don't value you, and they don't value the things that are private to you. They just spill your secrets. So maybe if they're your close friend, you share with them that you and your fiance are getting married, and you're going to share it with everybody, with the broader community on Sunday. And they go on the phone on Monday and call everybody from Monday to Friday to tell them what's happening. And they're smiling and saying that they're so happy. But what they're doing is that they're trying to quell down your great announcement that's going to happen on the Sunday, because they inadvertently want to hurt you. They love to spill your secrets. You might have told them that you have went through abuse or something bad happened to you, and they just laugh and they just tell everybody like it's a joke. But people who take things that you say to them in confidence and they share it openly, especially when you made a contract with them not to say anything, those are people who have already betrayed you, and they will do even more damage if you don't correct them in the future. So number 11 is they are a narcissist. They are self-focused. Everything is about them. When you're having a conversation, somehow, no matter what conversation you have, it comes back to them. You're talking about your vacation, and you're telling them, I went to Dominican Republic, and when I went to Dominican Republic, I had such a wonderful time, and this happened, and that happened, and this happened, and I had a great time. And you're trying to share your experience with them. And they say, well, I've never flown anywhere, but the other day I went to Niagara Falls, and Niagara Falls is so much better than Dominican Republic. They've never flown anywhere. And they went to Niagara Falls, and they're trying to tell you Niagara Falls is better than what you've done. And you've been to Niagara Falls, and you've been to Dominican Republic, because they're a narcissist. Everything revolves around them. The world that they live in, they are the center of that world. And you are just a speck of dust that is just orbiting around them. Because narcissists are people who have a heart to betray. Their life is a life of betrayal. Everything is about them. You went to become a doctor, and the other day they went to a doctor's appointment, and their doctor's appointment is more important than your graduation to become a doctor, because they are narcissists. They're self-seeking. They're self-serving. They put themselves in the center of everything, and they don't respect anything about you. And these are signs of a person that will betray you. The reason why I say this is because so many of us, we know narcissists and we can identify them easily, and we know this, but we will marry them, we will partner with them in business, we will let them pastor us, we will make them our best friends, we will tell them our secrets. And a narcissist, the only thing they care about is themselves, and they will throw you under the bus to let themselves excel, and that's what they always do. So a narcissist was born to betray you. The only thing that's worse than a narcissist is a person, and I wouldn't even say worse, it's probably the same thing, but it's a little bit more negative in nature, is people who like to project their feelings on you. So people who have an issue of projection. A person who has an issue of projection, they will project their emotions on you. So they'll see you and they'll say, oh, you're not feeling good today, eh? And you're having the best day of your life. And they say, you're not feeling good today. And you say, why do you say that? Well, my stomach is hurting and I don't feel happy today. And whenever I don't feel happy, I notice that you don't feel happy. No, that's not true. I feel happy most days and you feel sad most days. So I don't feel like how you feel. But they will continue to project. And no matter how you try to correct them, they will always bring you back to the point that you are experiencing what they're experiencing. When they are full of happiness and you're in the middle of a funeral, why aren't you smiling? You seem so down, like you're so negative. The reason why I'm not smiling is because my family member is going in the grave and you are so focused on yourself that you're trying to project joy in me. And today joy is not in me because I'm going through some difficult stuff. These kind of people, they lack emotional intelligence. They lack the ability to be able to read a situation. That when you see everybody that's crying, they're not joyful. And you talking about how you're joyful in the midst of their crisis is not going to help them. They lack the ability to have empathy, to feel the experiences that others that are around them are feeling. And the reason why I talk about that is because some of us, we struggle more with feeling comfortable with our emotion. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a person who can literally see that you are going through something opposite to what they're going through, and they don't care because they're projecting their feelings on you. This is not just only about emotion, but I bring up emotion because they're the easiest to see. This is also people having conversations with you. And when they're having conversations with you, I know one person that does this. I'm not going to say their name, but they'll have a conversation with you and they're in a certain profession and they're talking to you like you come from that profession. Oh, I was just doing the CAT scan, and when I was looking at the ICT levels, I noticed that this particular situation was going through some challenging things. You know what I'm talking about? No, I don't know what you're talking about. But they will talk to you as if their world is your world because everything for them is a projection. They are living their lives through you and they don't perceive you as an individual. They perceive you nothing more than an actor in their story. And for me, I think that when you're dealing with a person of projection, they will betray you. So we covered 12 signs of betrayal. I'm just going to review them very quickly. And then we're going to look through some of the comments that people have shared. And I'm pretty certain that the comments that people have shared have touched on these. And if we have anything else, I would love to see that. So sign number 1 is that they create distance. Sign number 2 is that they create an emotional mask. Sign number 3 is that they're emotionally unstable. Sign number 4 is that they're inattentive listeners. They don't listen to you. Sign number 5 is that they're codependent. They support you in your destructive behaviors. And they oftentimes want you to support them in their destructive behaviors. Sign number 6 is that they have a power struggle. They always want to have control and power over you. Sign number 7 is that they're jealous of you. Sign number 8 is that they're envious of you. Sign number 9 is that they have a history of betrayal. Sign number 10 is that they are narcissists. Sign number 11 is that they spill your secrets. Sign number 12 is that they have an issue with projection, that they project their feelings, they project their thought, they project their life on you, and they believe that what you're living is what they're living. And to me, that is of great concern. So I just wanted to share that because I think that many of us, we're just trying to live life. We're trying to have peace. We're trying to invest and add value to other people. But there's a phrase that people oftentimes use. They say, nice guys finish last, or nice girls finish last. And what happens is that people who are wanting to make themselves the center of attention will seek out positive people because we are of such that we'll let them get the attention. Because we're not really looking at it for ourselves. But what I've discovered is that so many good lives are ruined by betrayers. So when you can see the signs of a betrayer, then you can know to turn off the light and to leave. Let them stay in the dark room and leave, because you need your light to live your life. All of us, we need to grow. All of us, we need our lives to be empowered. And anyone that wants to disempower us, we have to separate ourselves from. Our life has great significance. And when you partner with somebody who actually agrees with that, it will help your life to move forward and it'll help your life to be better. But so many of us are partnering with people who are just alarming, not just one sign of the 12. As a matter of fact, if you alarm just one sign of these 12, you should probably get away from that person because they're going to betray you. But some of us, we have people where all 12 alarms are going off and we make excuses for them. All 12 alarms are going off and we spent 14 years of our life wasted with them. As a matter of fact, one day with them is a waste, is too much of a waste. We have to get to the place where we begin to excel in our detection of betrayers, excel in our detection of people who are wicked, excel in our detection of people who are fake and people who are harmful to our existence and to our future. And I'm not so much advocating that you prejudge somebody, but I'm saying that when you hear the alarms going off, that this guy's not good, check it out. And when you go on Facebook and you see his wife and his kids, then understand that your assumption or the alarm that you hear is correct. When you're at work and somebody is ribbing you and someone is trying to be all negative toward you, I'm just joking. Know that you can review the signs. And when you review the signs, I'm going to put them down in the comment section. So you can always review them later. But when you review the signs and you see that they're guilty of 6 of these, be mindful that you're with a person that will betray you. Now, the reason why I talk about this is because when you can figure out a person will betray you and you can get yourself away from them, especially emotionally, when you can make the distance from them as opposed to them making the distance from you, what will happen is it will protect you. Some people are getting, I shouldn't say some, many people are getting fired because they did not look at the signs and they joined themselves to betrayer. Many people are getting divorced because they did not look at the signs and they joined themselves to betrayer. Many people are being left before the altar is even occurring, left in boyfriend-girlfriend relationship because they have attached themselves to the betrayer and the betrayer has taken what they wanted, whatever that may be, and they're gone. And the more that we can recognize betrayers and we can recognize what they're planning to do, is the more that when we see it, hopefully we're not under that spell, because there's a spell, you know. There's a love spell when a guy likes a girl, he's not thinking anymore. There's a love spell when a girl likes a guy and believes that he'll be believes in his potential. He's not working now, but I believe in his potential. He hasn't worked for the last 10 years, but man, he's a chef. I believe in his potential. No, he's never going to work. And when you can begin to see the alarms going off, not just that your mother says it or your father says it or your friends say it, but when you can look at the list of alarms and see, my goodness, 12 alarms going off, this guy is unworthy. I think that we have to get to the place where, and I'm not going to say it's easy because when your emotions are involved in something, it's hard to see clearly. But I think that when you can get to the place, even before emotions get involved, then you can begin to see alarms. Narcissists are narcissists before you like them. So if you're looking for the signs of a narcissist, just type it in Google or research it. And when you see those signs in a person, believe that they're a narcissist. A person that is jealous. When a person tells you, I'm a jealous guy, he told you what he is. When a person says, oh, your man, I wish he was mine, they told you what they are. And so many times these signs are going off and we ignore them. And it's not until after they betray us and we're sitting down and we're doing an autopsy of the betrayal. If we take this list of the 12 signs, that we'll see, oh my goodness, all 12 alarms are going off. And right now, I'm hoping that we're not in the place where we have just been betrayed. I'm hoping that we're not in the place where we were just betrayed 2 years ago. I'm hoping that we're not in the place that we're currently involved in friendships or involved in churches or involved in relationships where there is this betrayal that's happening. But in the worst case scenario, even if we are, I think it's good for us to look at the list that I just shared and begin to ask yourself, are the alarms going off? because we save so much more of our life by removing ourselves from narcissists. Because a narcissist always thinks everybody's a narcissist. They will project on you and say, "You're such a narcissist. Every time you come here, you're cooking food and you're serving me and you're helping me and you're buying me stuff and you're kind to me and you're faithful to me. You're such a narcissist." No, they're the narcissist. And before you get to the place where you discover it through experience, and now you're dealing with the person out of anger, I think it's better that we discover it through study and through reviewing the 12 signs, so that one day when we're walking down the street and the guy say, "Hey girl, you look pretty. You want to go out for something to eat?" If you can get enough information, you can figure out if some of the 12 are in them, or maybe you might go out for something to eat. But as you're eating, you see that in the conversation, he's not listening. As you're eating, you see in the conversation that everything's about him. As you're eating, you see in the conversation that he doesn't even want to pay the bill. He wants to split it with you, or even worse, he wants you to pay for his bill. And he says, "Oh, this is modern times. It's time for the ladies to pay." But at the end of the day, I think that it's very important for us to take into consideration that there are betrayers among us. There are Judases that are among us. And they're trying to figure out, when can I betray the righteous one with a kiss? There are betrayers among us. There are Delilahs that are among us. Tell me, your business secrets. Because when I get your business secrets, I can drop you and steal your business. There are betrayers among us. There are some people that want to send you to slap somebody, and they know that when you go to slap that person, you're going to lose everything that you have, even though they're the one that slapped them through you. And I think the more that you sit down and you look at people who alarms are setting off in them, you will see that their job is to get you in trouble. And if they can get you in trouble through partnership with you, they get you in trouble. But even worse, if they can get you in trouble by betraying you, they will do that too. So we have to get to the place where we practice the protection of our life. And one of the ways to protect our life is to be aware that there are betrayers among us. There are people who do not seek our best interest. There are people, and sometimes it's purposeful. Sometimes the person is sitting down and calculating, how can I harm this person? How can I take advantage of them for my right? And sometimes it's not purposeful. Sometimes people grew up in a destructive family. They grew up in a destructive situation. And because they grew up in that kind of situation, what they're doing is they're just reliving that chaos and trying to pull you into it. But my suggestion to you is, if you didn't grow up in chaos, my suggestion to you is to run away from betrayers. Stay away from betrayers. Don't let people betray you. When you can see that they lack character, pull yourself away. Now, there's a calling for us to be kind to people who are poor, to be kind to people who are lost, to be kind to people who are broken, but I don't have to let you control my life. And betrayers are looking to control your life so that they can turn on you and so that they can harm you. And my encouragement to you, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because I said I'm tired of betrayers. I'm tired of people telling me the harms that people did to them, sometimes intentional, sometimes out of the chaos of their past. But at the end of the day, we do not have to live that. We're at such a point that even if we were born and raised in chaos, if we make up our mind to develop a plan to get out of chaos, we can do it. We can get ourselves out of chaos. So if I can get myself out of chaos, then why in the world would I let somebody else pull me into it? So my encouragement to you is always remember that you are important, that you're made in the image of God. And because you're made in the image of God, your life matters. Your life matters so much that you need to evaluate how people treat it. And if a person is not treating you right and they're showing you all signs of betrayal, it's wise for you to develop a plan to make certain that they don't betray you. Just wanted to read a few comments before we close off, but it's so great spending time with you another Sunday. I'm hoping that this conversation has been helpful. I'm hoping it's been a blessing. What I do each week is I do send out the invite for a person to come online and to talk with me. And I know that sometimes people don't want to do that, but I just want to make that memory with you so that in the future, if you want to come online and talk with us, we'd love to hear your thoughts live and we'd love for you to share. Or you can always write in the comment section so that we can hear from you as well. Because this is a group discussion. Even though I'm sharing a lot of information, this is a group discussion. And I want to hear from you. And if I've missed any thoughts as it relates to some signs, because there may be some alarms that have rang off in your life that you want to share with other people that I haven't shared, then please let us know, because I think that together we're better. And the more that we guard against the enemies and the betrayers, I think the more powerful our life will be. So just wanted to read a couple of comments and then we'll close. Yvonne says, I remembered a couple years back, I found myself spilling something that was told to me in confidence. I've learned from that experience. And I think it's very important, because even though I'm making this list, in honesty, because we're human, we can fit any of these signs, on a given day. But I think what the difference is that there are some agents that are out there that are so harmful that they will make you look bad. They will take something innocent that you did and use it to make you look like you're a betrayer. So even when we're dealing with people who betray, we have to be so wise that it's not just like me and my friend I have to worry about. Sometimes I have to worry about me and my friend and those that are around us. Because my friend and I, we could have peace with each other, but there is always somebody outside that wants to cause a problem between me and those that I'm close to. One of the best ways to do it is to get information from me about my friend, and then they use that information and tell the other person. And really, if they were a true friend themselves, nobody would have ever heard, because at the end of the day, when you're really, really good friends with somebody, you're going to share confidential information. But a true friend is going to keep that confidential information. But when you're dealing with fake friends and you're dealing with betrayers, they're always looking for information. And when they get the information, they use it for their own narcissistic benefit. And the more aware that we are that there are evils out there and there are immature and broken people that are out there, is the more we recognize that I don't want to wear a mask, but sometimes I have to put a mask on my mouth, because people will take even the truth that you say and they'll use it against you. So my encouragement to everyone who's here is to always remember that you're made in the image of God. Always remember that you deserve respect and that you deserve to be treated correctly, and to ask God to give you more wisdom. Because I'm talking more so on the level of my friend and I, but what the enemy loves to do is the enemy loves to cause division amongst good people. And he causes division amongst good people when good people trust in bad people. So sometimes the problem that I have with my friend is not so much that my friend has sounded off any of these alarms or most of these alarms, is that there's another figure that's hidden in the darkness. There's a serpent who's slithering around my friend, and the alarms are going off in their life and they don't even recognize it because they haven't looked for it. But the more that we understand that there are alarms, we should even look out for our friends. And of course, they're not going to listen, especially if it's a romantic relationship. Of course, they're not going to listen. But at least you can go through the list and then they can make a conscious decision what they're going to do. My encouragement to everyone who's here is keep growing, keep allowing God to direct you. Relationships are of utmost importance, and we need to invest in our education around relationships. And we need to open up our eyes when we see that the signs of betrayal are ever present everywhere with particular people. So I'm your host, Neville Solomon. Welcome to the Virtual Church TV show podcast. And I'm so thankful for those of you who support us on Sunday evenings. And I'm trusting and believing that God's going to do great and powerful things in your life. We're going to be ending by just sharing a time of worship. But I wanted to thank you for being here. What I'm going to do in the comment section, because we didn't really get to talk about some of the solutions as it relates to betrayal, I'm going to write some of the solutions in the comment section. So if you want to come back and check that out, that's great. Or if you just want to do your own research on more signs of betrayal, you can do that, and you can write in the comment section and let us know what you've learned. because we want to grow. We want to be prepared for the enemy. We want to be as wise as serpents and as gentle as doves. We want to know how evil people think so that when they try to trap us, they don't have power over us. So I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed to hear from all of you. I'm encouraged, and you've been an encouragement to me as well. And I'm praying and believing that you'll have an excellent week we'll have an excellent week this week, and that God's way will be the way that you take each day. So God bless you, and thank you so much. And let's grow. Thank you.
Give me you. Everything else can wait. Lord, give me you. I hope it's not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. One more time, give me you. Give me you. Everything else can wait. Lord, give me you. I hope it's not too late. Lord, give me you. 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 Lord, give me. Lord, give me you. 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 So I'm just trying to say, Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Give me you. Give me you. Everything else can wait. Lord, give me you. I hope it's not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It's such a good thing to celebrate and worship the Holy Spirit. Amen.